And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within.
For starters, I don't need to rely on Google to determine that what you just said is complete bullshit. I don't need to call Miss Cleo and have her speak to the remains of Elliot Ness to help me figure it out either. I also don't need to explain to this audience that white supremacists are not responsible for 80% of the crimes committed in this country, because I already know that this audience ain't dumb enough to believe it. 40 years on this earth, 40 years, I have never met a white supremacist, and I live in the deep South. According to the mainstream media, I live amongst millions and millions of white supremacists, yet somehow, since the year of our Lord, 1984, I ain't never met one of them. I wonder why. How many of you guys could name the lovely woman that I just showed you in that clip? If I had to guess, most of you guys have no idea who in the hell she is. Well, Uncle KC, is she one of the unknowns collecting woke welfare from the Cemetery News Network? No, that is a good guess, though. Anytime you see an unrecognized face on television, usually a safe bet that they are working at CNN. Is she the newest pretend analyst at the worldwide leader in woke ESPN? No, but that doesn't mean that she's not qualified. To my knowledge, she has never played organized sports in her life, which means she would automatically be qualified to give her unique insight and analyze the NFL for ESPN. Unfortunately, the lovely lady in that clip, she is not collecting woke welfare from CNN or ESPN. Those generous donations that she receives every 2 weeks, they are coming from you. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Jasmine Crockett. Since January of 2023, Jazzy's been a member of the House of Representatives, where she is responsible for representing the people of Texas. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, how did she get elected in Texas? Trust me, I was wondering the same thing. Why would the good people of Texas select a proud deacon from Woke United Methodist to represent them? But then I figured out which part of Texas elected Jasmine Crockett. Dallas. The same Dallas that just traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers in exchange for a damn near paralyzed Anthony Davis. Tony! And a future draft pick to be named later. It's the equivalent of John Biden trading a dangerous career criminal in exchange for Bob Greiner. It would be like me trading my top-of-the-line forerunner for Joy Reid's broom. Jas Crockett has been in Congress for over 2 years now. 2 years of anonymity. 2 years of being unrecognized at family reunions. My inside sources are telling me that at the last Crockett family reunion, poor Jazz, she was mistaken for DJ Jazzy Jeff. When her uncle realized that he had made a mistake, he tried to correct it by giving her the name tag that said Davy. But that's okay. That's okay. Jazz came up with another idea to break into the mainstream. Last year, she was the co-chair of the presidential campaign for Cackling Cam Harris, but she was still unknown. She was the co-director of the Cackling Choir, but she still could not find a way to quench her unending desire for mainstream attention. But over the last month or so, Jasmine Crockett has finally found a way to break into the mainstream. Since she is a proud deacon at Woke United Methodist, she didn't come up with an original idea to get noticed. Jazz did what the deacons do best. she copied someone else. Jazzy decided to borrow a strategy from AOC, DEF, LGBT. She decided to borrow a strategy from the legendary doofus, Alex Cortez. In order to fulfill her desire for mainstream attention, Jasmine Crockett, she has decided that she would pretend to be a dumbass. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. Today on the second channel, going to be talking about an incident in Virginia. A young girl at a high school track meet. She was brutally attacked by another track star. She was hit in the back of the head with a baton. Now, luckily, the young woman is okay, but to make matters worse, she wasn't even given the decency of an apology. If you haven't already, head over to the second channel and subscribe. Now, contrary to the image that she portrays, and I know this might be hard to believe, but Jasmine Crockett is a smart woman. She went to graduate school at the University of Houston, where she received her law degree. Like most lawyers, she started out as a public defender, but she eventually opened up her own private practice where she handled lawsuits related to car accidents. Translation: she spent a lot of time chasing the ambulance. If Jazz Crockett represented you in a case involving an accident, you were expected to pay her full rate, which is fine. That's fine. I mean, no one is in the business of working for free, except, of course, the WNBA dump. But there was a select group that Jasmine Crockett refused to charge for her services. Perhaps she viewed this free legal work as paying it forward. Maybe she viewed it as her contribution in the fight against mythical racism. If you chose to identify as an activist for Black Lives Matter, Jasmine Crockett, she would take your case for free. Eventually, she gave up practicing law to become a member of Congress. Like I said, for the past 2 years, Jazz Crockett has been completely unknown. If you happen to see her picture, you wouldn't be able to tell if she was a member of Congress or one of Bob Griner's teammates on the Dallas Wankers in the WNBA. But over the last month or so, Jazz has finally found a way to get noticed. She goes on national television and says the dumbest things possible. Case in point, claiming that 80% of crimes in this country committed by mythical white supremacists. Now, no one can find these white supremacists. They damn sure can't find them in jail because the vast majority of the prison population ain't lacking the melanin. But according to Jazz, those white supremacists, they're out there and they will steal your broom if it's not chained to the broom rack. Over the weekend, Jasmine Crockett, she was a guest on MSNBC. I guess she wasn't satisfied at the lack of response from her appearances on CNN. I guess appearing on CNN didn't get her the attention that she desired, which makes sense because no one is watching CNN. So Jazz, she took her talents to MSNBC, where she worked hard to disguise her intelligence so she could play the role of the dumbass to perfection. They were talking about illegal immigration. Key word, illegal. Now, to her credit, Jazz was not intimidated by the increased star power at MSNBC, mainly because it doesn't exist. Whoever the hell was hosting this show, she is just as unknown as the people working at CNN. But they were talking about illegal immigration. Jasmine Crockett, she made an interesting statement. Now keep in mind, Jazz graduated from law school. She worked as a public defender. She had her own private law practice. If there is any field where Jazz should be viewed as an expert, it's the field of law. But for some reason, this so-called expert, she wants us to believe that illegal immigration is not illegal. Watch for yourself.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime.
What? Excuse me? Come again? Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Jazz Crockett, who claims to be a lawyer, she expects me to believe that entering the country illegally is not a crime? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe I'm the one confused. Just to be sure, I looked up the definition of illegal. Now, according to Webby, the dictionary, not the rapper, according to Webby, the dictionary, illegal is defined as contrary to or forbidden by law, especially criminal law. Well, maybe Jazz knows something that I don't. Maybe our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, eliminated the federal laws on immigration, meaning everyone is welcome to come here legally. But imagine my surprise. Just imagine my surprise when I found out that ain't the case either. According to 8 U.S. Code 1325, it is unlawful to enter the country without authorization. It's unlawful to harbor people who are here illegally, and it's unlawful to fraudulently enter the country. First-time offenders, they could receive fines and up to 6 months in prison. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. Prisons are filled with criminals, right? So, how exactly would you not be classified as a criminal if you entered the country illegally? The thing is, Jasmine Crockett knows this. She's a damn lawyer. She knows the law. She's either doing this because it's the current talking points for the Democrats. If there is one thing Democrats do best, it is organize their talking points. Most of these people, they can recite them verbatim. Jasmine Crockett is either saying this because she's reciting the talking points, or she is pretending to play dumb for attention because she knows clips like this will go viral. Maybe it's a combination of both, but either way, Uncle KC ain't buying it. This is the problem with the Democrats. They seem to be allergic to honesty. They seem to be allergic to the truth. They are constantly trying to push their beliefs onto everyone else instead of making themselves appealing to the voters. How are you supposed to win elections when the vast majority of the country disagrees with you? Vast majority of people, they want secure borders, and they don't want their sons becoming their daughters and becoming an all-star in women's sports. For some reason, those are two key issues that the Democrats can't let go of. Give me your thoughts on this. Jasmine Crockett claims that illegal immigration is not illegal. Do you think it's all an act? Do you think it's a desperate cry for attention? Or do you think Jasmine Crockett actually believes this? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.